Section 1. Setting the stage, a gathering of minds. The lights dim in the grand auditorium, hushing the eager whispers of the assembled audience. On stage, a lone spotlight illuminates a moderator's podium, flanked by 4 empty chairs. This is no ordinary academic gathering. It is a summit of social psychology giants, convened to unlock the secrets of social influence. Welcome, esteemed guests, to this exploration of the invisible forces that shape our thoughts and actions. The moderator begins, her voice resonating through the hall. We are joined today by pioneers in the field, Dr. Solomon Asch, Dr. Stanley Milgram, Dr. Robert Cialdini, and Dr. Leon Festinger, each a luminary in their own right. As the 4 legendary figures take their seats, the moderator continues. Our journey into the human psyche begins with a fundamental question. Why do we conform? What compels us to obey? How do others persuade us? And how do we reconcile our beliefs with our actions? These are the enigmas we seek to unravel. A palpable sense of anticipation fills the air. The audience, a mix of students, academics, and curious minds, leans forward, eager to glean wisdom from the masters themselves. Today, the intricate workings of the human mind will be laid bare, revealing the subtle yet powerful ways in which social influence shapes our every thought and deed.
Imagine, Dr. Asch begins, his voice soft yet authoritative, a simple experiment. A group of individuals is asked to judge the length of lines. The answer is obvious, yet one by one, each person, influenced by the group's unanimous but incorrect response, conforms to the wrong answer. This, Asch explains, is the essence of conformity, the tendency to align our thoughts, beliefs, and behaviors with those around us. It's a fundamental human instinct rooted in our innate desire to belong, to be accepted by the group. We are social creatures, Asch emphasizes, and our need for social approval often outweighs our commitment to objective truth. Asch further elaborates on the types of conformity, distinguishing between informational conformity, where we conform because we believe the group is correct, and normative conformity, where we conform to avoid social rejection. He cites examples such as fashion trends, peer pressure, and the spread of popular opinion, illustrating how conformity permeates every aspect of our lives. Conformity, Asch concludes, is a double-edged sword. It can foster social harmony and cooperation, but it can also stifle individuality and lead to the acceptance of harmful norms. Understanding the dynamics of conformity is crucial for navigating the complexities of social life and for fostering critical thinking in an increasingly interconnected world.
The atmosphere in the auditorium shifts as Dr. Stanley Milgram takes the stage. His groundbreaking research on obedience to authority remains one of the most controversial yet illuminating studies in social psychology. In the aftermath of World War II, Milgram begins, his voice grave. The world grappled with a chilling question. How could ordinary people commit extraordinary acts of evil? My research sought to understand the power of obedience, particularly in the face of moral conflict. Milgram recounts his now iconic experiment, where participants, under the guise of a learning study, were ordered to administer increasingly painful electric shocks to another person. The results were startling. A majority of participants obeyed the experimenter's commands, even when they believed they were inflicting severe pain on an innocent individual. Obedience, Milgram explains, is deeply ingrained in us from childhood. We are taught to respect authority figures, to follow rules and orders. This ingrained obedience, while essential for social order, can be exploited, leading individuals to commit acts they would otherwise find morally reprehensible. Milgram's work serves as a stark reminder of the power of situational factors in shaping human behavior and the importance of individual responsibility in the face of blind obedience.
Dr. Robert Cialdini, a master of persuasion science, takes center stage, a mischievous glint in his eye. We are all persuaders, he proclaims, and we are all persuaded. Every interaction, every exchange involves an attempt to influence, however subtle. Cialdini introduces his 6 principles of persuasion: reciprocity, scarcity, authority, consistency, liking, and consensus. These principles, he explains, are hardwired into our psychology, influencing our decisions and shaping our behavior in predictable ways. He illustrates each principle with captivating examples, from the effectiveness of free samples in marketing, reciprocity, to the allure of limited time offers, scarcity, and the persuasive power of expert endorsements, authority. Cialdini emphasizes that persuasion is not about manipulation or coercion, but rather about understanding and leveraging the psychological principles that drive human behavior. By understanding these principles, Cialdini concludes, we can become more effective communicators, more discerning consumers, and more conscious participants in the constant dance of persuasion that shapes our social world.
The final speaker, Dr. Leon Festinger, delves into the fascinating realm of cognitive dissonance, the mental discomfort we experience when our beliefs clash with our actions.
Humans strive for consistency in their thoughts and behaviors. When this consistency is disrupted, we experience a state of dissonance, which we are then motivated to reduce.
Festinger recounts his classic study where participants who engaged in a boring task were paid either $1 or $20 to convince others that the task was enjoyable. Surprisingly, those paid $1 rated the task as more enjoyable afterward.
The insufficient justification, just $1, created dissonance, which participants resolved by changing their attitude towards the task.
Cognitive dissonance, Festinger explains, is a powerful force that shapes our attitudes, beliefs, and even our self-perception.
We justify our actions, rationalize our choices, and even change our beliefs to align with our behavior, all in an effort to maintain a sense of internal consistency.
Understanding cognitive dissonance, Festinger concludes, is crucial for understanding how people rationalize their decisions, cope with hypocrisy, and even change their deeply held beliefs. With each theorist's contribution laid out, the moderator returns to the stage. These principles, he states, aren't confined to sterile laboratory settings. They play out constantly in the real world. A montage of images flashes across the screen. A group of teenagers all sporting the same brand of sneakers. A line of people waiting to buy a product advertised as limited edition. A political rally where a charismatic leader whips the crowd into a frenzy. The moderator points to each image, drawing connections to the theories discussed. Conformity drives trends, obedience fuels hierarchical structures, persuasion underpins marketing and politics, and cognitive dissonance explains everything from post-purchase rationalization to political polarization. The audience is captivated, seeing the abstract principles they've just learned brought to life in familiar scenarios. It's a powerful reminder that social influence is not some distant academic concept, but a pervasive force shaping our everyday experiences. The discussion takes a somber turn as the moderator raises the ethical implications of social influence. With this knowledge, he cautions, comes responsibility. The same principles that can be used to promote positive social change can also be manipulated for personal gain or even harmful ends. The panelists nod in agreement, acknowledging the potential for misuse. Milgram's research, in particular, sparked fierce debate about the ethical boundaries of research and the potential for psychological harm. A thought-provoking image appears on the screen, a hand reaching for a smartphone with the words, "social media manipulation" superimposed. It prompts reflection on the subtle ways technology is used to influence our thoughts and behaviors. The moderator challenges the audience to consider the ethical dilemmas posed by social influence in various domains, from advertising and marketing to politics and social media. How do we harness the power of social influence for good while guarding against its potential for harm? This is a question we must all grapple with as informed citizens of an increasingly interconnected world. The weight of the question hangs in the air, a stark reminder that understanding social influence is not just an intellectual exercise, but a moral imperative in a world grappling with complex social challenges. Despite the pervasive nature of social influence, the panelists emphasize that we are not mere puppets controlled by unseen forces. We have the capacity for independent thought, critical thinking, and resisting social pressure.
Ash highlights the importance of dissenting voices in breaking the hold of conformity. Even a single dissenting voice, he asserts, can empower others to resist conformity and assert their own judgment.
The screen displays a powerful quote by Margaret Mead. "Never doubt that a small group of thoughtful, committed citizens can change the world. Indeed, it's the only thing that ever has. It serves as a beacon of hope and a call to action."
Milgram stresses the importance of individual responsibility and moral courage. We must be willing to question authority, he urges, to resist unjust orders, and to stand up for what we believe is right, even when it is difficult.
Cialdini encourages the audience to become more aware of persuasion techniques, to become more discerning consumers of information, and to resist manipulation. Knowledge is power, he reminds them. By understanding the tactics of persuasion, we can better defend ourselves against unwanted influence.
As the summit draws to a close, the moderator thanks the panelists for their groundbreaking insights and leaves the audience with a final thought. Social influence is an inescapable part of the human experience, he reflects. It shapes our perceptions, guides our actions, and binds us together as social beings. The screen displays a final image, a diverse group of people interconnected by a web of lines representing the invisible forces of social influence. It's a powerful visual reminder that we are all part of a complex social tapestry, influencing and being influenced by those around us. As we navigate the complexities of the 21st century, the moderator concludes, understanding the dynamics of social influence is more crucial than ever. By unraveling the mysteries of conformity, obedience, persuasion, and cognitive dissonance, we can foster a more just, equitable, and compassionate world. The audience rises in a standing ovation, their minds buzzing with new insights and a newfound appreciation for the invisible forces that shape their lives. The summit may be over, but the conversation about social influence, its power, and its implications for humanity has just begun.